Welcome, welcome, curling fans. You are at the 16th International Wheelchair Curling Tournament here in Curling Club Wetzikon. I'm Lorna Rettig, and I will be hosting us through all of the games on the weekend here. It's Friday afternoon. If you can sneak off work a little bit early, and you can come and join us here for some international curling. There you can see all the teams ready on the ice. We just heard some words of welcome from Chief Harry, who's the overall organiser. And as you can see, we have a lot of people from the club always involved. Always a very popular weekend here. You can see in the background, as Chief Harry mentioned, we have teams from 3 continents here. We have several European teams, and we have teams visiting also from the US and from Korea. It's always very popular, this competition. Very high standard. And that becomes a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So teams that have come before, they're happy to come back again, having had a really good time. Really strong curling, high quality, good teams. As Chief Harry mentioned, very dedicated landlords who provide lovely Swiss food while we're here. The hotel's right across the street, so it's really a perfect venue. You can see there's a few folks up in the club watching this afternoon. That will get busier as the weekend goes on. If you're close by and you would like to come watch, then do come and join us. You can come and sit in the club room, no need for tickets, just come and enjoy some nice international curling. So we do have immediately one of our international guests. We are on sheet 3 for the weekend here. We will be following the game of Team Poland. And Poland are currently ranked 19 in the world, and they will be playing the team from Curling Club Wetzikon, the home team here. And don't be fooled, viewer. Curling Club Wetzikon team, plenty of experience there. And it is Poland wearing red uniforms. They are playing blue stones. Wetzikon team wearing the black uniforms. They are playing yellow stones. And you can see already that's Silvano from the club. The stone helpers, stone cleaners, an integral part of the competition here. It just keeps things moving along. Those little helpers at the line there, just cleaning the bottom of the stone, as the foot curlers would normally do, just keeps things moving. So we'll talk a little bit more about how wheelchair curling is the same and different to foot curling. First of all, let's see who else is out on the ice just now. Over on sheet 1, we have Team Korea. And they are playing Team England. Korea ranked currently 5th in the world. England ranked 21. On sheet 2, we have the team from Scotland. And they are playing Team Switzerland 2. Our featured game on sheet 3, we are watching Team Poland playing Curling Club Wetzikon. On sheet 4, we have Team Italy. Sorry, no, we don't. We have Team Slovakia. And they are playing Team Wagami from the US. And that sounds maybe like more like a Japanese or a Korean name. It isn't. That's an amalgamation of all the clubs that those players are from. We shall be finding out more about that team from US as the weekend goes on. On sheet 5, it is Team Italy. And they are playing the team from Curling Club St. Gallen, also a Swiss team. And finally, over on 6, we have Team Switzerland 1, and they are playing another team from Italy. That's Team Albatross Trentino. So we have a lot of fun games going on. We will be on sheet 3 all weekend. And as Chief Harry said, do share the link. I know we always have a lot of fans tuning in from North America, from Asia. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of Swiss fans as well. Now, before the game started, we had a last shot draw challenge. So that part is identical to the foot curling game. And the teams had a 10-minute practice just to get the feel for the ice. And after that, they throw 2 stones, one clockwise, one anti-clockwise, and cumulatively, whoever gets their 2 stones closest to the centre, they get last stone advantage in that first end. And for this first game, that was Team Poland. So they have last stone. But as you can see, it's the local club, local team from the club here in Wetzikon. They've currently got a couple of yellow stones lying, but both behind T, so no particular danger yet here in this first end. Everything, as you can see, there's a really nice view there at the throwing end. Everything's still nice and open. And we'll talk about the delivery from the wheelchair athletes as we go through the game as well. As you can see, that is the most obvious difference between wheelchair curling and foot curling. And this looks nice from Poland. Lovely. Just neutralising that danger and asking the question again of Team Wetzikon. As Chief Harry said, we play 8 ends in this round robin. We have 5 rounds. This is the first. We will have another 4 rounds taking us through to Sunday. And at this stage in the competition, you can win, lose or draw. We don't play an extra end just yet, so we will play 8 ends. If you win, you get 2 points. If you lose, you get no points. But if it's a draw, then you get 1 point each. So some competitions you play to win, but this is a slightly different system. And your cumulative score will also count. So the number of ends you win, that will count. And the number of shots you score, that also counts. And it just encourages more aggressive play. Even if you're maybe not having your strongest game, it's still worthwhile just having a couple more ends and a couple more points on the board. That can really help you overall. And for the updated scores throughout the whole competition, you will find everything you need to know on IWCT.ch for International Wheelchair Curling Tournament.ch. You have the live stream and all the scores, all the team info. That's your one-stop shop. So now then, it is Poland who are lying 2. You have 2 stones closer to the centre. So now there is a little bit of danger for the home team. Oh, so close. You will see the other obvious difference between the wheelchair game and the foot player game is that in wheelchair curling you don't have sweepers. And that really does make a difference, particularly at this high level. We can see the big difference that it makes when you watch the foot player competitions, and sweeping for lines, sweeping for weight, sweeping to catch a bit of curl makes a big difference, and that just makes the level of difficulty of all the shots for wheelchair curling, it just increases that difficulty a little bit. So that's good to keep in mind while we're watching, is that, yeah, if you're a foot curler and you throw a stone. Yeah, your sweepers could probably sweep it into the house for you. But here in wheelchair curling, you've got to get it right first time. A little bit of trouble for Club Wetzikon. Poland are lying 3 blues now after that nice throw there. And it is they who have the last stone. This looks better from the home team. This is better. That's more on target. And leaves a nice yellow lying in the 4-foot circle. So curling predates the metric system by quite a long way. And you will still hear even the most metrically fluent people talk about the 12-foot circle. That's the outside circle that's red on our screen. The 8-foot is the white circle and the 4-foot is the blue circle. They don't matter in terms of points. The colours, the different colours are simply to help us gauge which one's closer, which stone is closer. You don't get more points for landing in the blue circle than you would in the red. And Poland striking right back at that nice throw from Wetzikon Club. And look at that, getting a lovely roll to the side as well. So some tough stuff coming up for skip stones for Curling Club Wetzikon. We will say hello to the teams properly just after this end concludes. But we're definitely needing a couple of nice throws from the Wetzikon skip here. We take a little bit longer for a regulation game in wheelchair curling as well. Typically, you have 2 hours for a round, and in wheelchair curling, we have 2 hours 15, just to give the players just a little bit more flexibility with moving around in the ice. So we need 2 big shots here from the Wetzikon skip. When is he going to catch that blue? He's not. That's over curled. Oh boy. Poland will be very happy with this start. In contrast, should be quite a straightforward stone for the Polish skip. They are already lying 3 stones closest to the centre. And they have that all-important last stone advantage. They were here last year as well, Poland. So we're glad to see them back again. Happy they had a successful trip last year and support our competition again. So first throw of the competition for the Polish skip. We'll be pretty pleased with how everything's going so far. And this looks very nice from the Polish skip. That's exactly where they wanted it. That is just going to stop in front of T-line. And gosh. Yeah, a bit of a contemplative look on the face of the Wetzikon skip. It is only the first end. We have 7 more ends to play. But yeah, I think they would like to just remove as many of those blues as they can. Realising, okay, we probably can't remove them all, but you can see he's adjusted his throw from his first stone. His first stone over curled a bit, and we can see this stone following a straighter path. And that's a pretty nice result, actually. That is a really good throw from the Wetzikon skip. There are still those couple of blues hanging around the outer circles, but that yellow is right in front of the blue. Very difficult to remove that yellow or move it around without moving your own blue. And that was a real get out of jail free card played by Wetzikon Club there. Hopefully that steadied the ship for them. Yeah, that's a great view on the overhead there. You can see that yellow. It's right in front of that blue. Really impossible to do much about that yellow without moving your own blue. And Poland, I think, realising that. Not really any shot available on the yellow. And accepting, okay, we've got 1 point already. It is still blue that's closest, and let's just try to drop a second stone in. He played it beautifully with his first throw. He'll be looking for exactly the same, please. And that stone's just pulling up. You can see it just catching the curl there. The ice is still very fresh in this first end. And as we said, no sweepers here in the wheelchair curling. I'm sure two big boys from one of the top teams could have got that stone a lot further. But, yep, you have to get it right first time here in wheelie curling. And, gosh, what a turnaround. Poland were looking like they were going to get a hatful of points in that first end. But a superb throw from the Wetzikon skip. Completely neutralises most of that damage. And finally, after one end here in our featured game, at the 16th International Wheelchair Curling Tournament in Club Wetzikon, it is Poland 1, Wetzikon 0. We are in the second end of our featured game here in Curling Club Wetzikon in Switzerland, and we are watching the national team from Poland playing against the home team from Curling Club Wetzikon. And I think, yeah, Poland might be a little bit disappointed with that first end. They did not do much wrong, and they really had a lot of points lined up, but really super shot from, with his final throw from the skip from Curling Club Wetzikon, neutralised all of that danger in one go. And it was only a score of 1 point finally for Poland. And only the first end of the weekend. Plenty of time still to go. But yeah, I wonder if Poland will be thinking about that, thinking, oh, we had good chances there for more points. But they mustn't let that get to them. They just need to keep playing the way they did in the first end. And typically, if you're forcing your opposition to play such high difficulty shots all the time, hopefully they can't make it every end. So maybe just a little bit of frustration or disappointment for Poland, but a good first end from them. I think Wetzikon, they will be glad to have settled the ship and not lost a few points in that first end. And it is now Wetzikon who have last stone in the second end after Poland scoring that one. And similar starts all over. It was Korea scoring 1 point with last stone over on sheet 1. They're playing Team England. Looks like the game on sheet 2 is just lining up. We'll come back to them on sheet 4. Next door to our featured sheet, it is Slovakia. They won last year's competition. They're defending champions, and they stole one from the team from US. Just in the background of your screen there. On sheet 5, the team from St. Gallen, also in Switzerland, they stole one from Team Italy. And finally on sheet 6, it was a score of 2 for the other Italian team, Team Albatros Trentino, and a good start for them. They scored 2 over Team Switzerland 1. We need to not get confused about this. So we have Team Switzerland 1 and Team Switzerland 2. So we need to concentrate when we're talking about scores instead of team names. And we will be featuring hopefully all of our visiting teams at some point over the weekend. We have 5 rounds. This is the first of the 5 rounds, followed by ranking games. There are 2 games every day. We have another round today at 3:30 European. We have 2 rounds tomorrow at 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon European. And on Sunday we have an early start, 8:30 for the final round, followed by the ranking games at 12:30. And as always, we will have the Zurich Caledonian Pipe Band to welcome us for the final games. So that will be well worth joining for. A long way to go until then, though. The teams on sheet 3 in our featured game is Poland, who are ranked 19 in the world. They are playing curling club Wetzikon, the local team here. And both teams just kind of finding the feel for the ice a little bit. I'm sure the ice is very fast. Danny, the ice maker, he's hugely experienced, and he typically makes nice, fast, curly ice for our international guests. And you can see a couple of stones overthrowing in the second end. Typically in the first end, the ice is still fresh. We haven't played any stones yet, and sometimes that just means you have to give the stone a bit more running, give it a little bit more of a push. But by the second end, the ice is taking the frost off, and you do sometimes see that you need to adjust a little bit in the second end. So that one coming up a little bit short for Poland, but that's okay. It's Wetzikon playing yellow. They have last stone in this second end. So their ideal strategy would be initially to play away from the centre, try to leave the centre path clear for a final stone. So try to build an end on the sides of the sheet. And if you're Poland, your objective is exactly the reverse. You're very happy if there's a whole bunch of stones in the centre, meaning that the path for the opposition is not so easy. But this is the other strategy is, well, we're just going to call your bluff. We're going to use your guards before you get the chance. That's exactly what we see now from the Swiss team. And big smile from Vernie there. Quite right, that was a really nice throw. You see this strategy more often these days now that we have the 5 rock-free guard zone. just change the rhythm of an end slightly, the 5-rock free guard zone. So this one coming at pace. But yeah, just that extra weight doesn't give that stone a chance to curl. And that really just stays straight the whole way there. And now, is it advantage Wetzikon? Similar idea then. Using those two Polish stones out front. And it was Wetzikon that got to the centre first. Hoping for a miss from Poland, which they got. And that gives them now the chance to consolidate that lovely stone previously. And look at this. Copy paste, please. That is a superb throw. Whatever nerves the team from Wetzikon maybe had in the first end, they seem to have shaken those off. Cheerful high five, rightly so, in the background. And yeah, now it's Poland being asked the question. Their own guards are in the way now. And what do you do? Yeah, do you remove your own guards? Or what's the skip thinking? Yep, he's thinking, okay, we had a couple of misses. We're not going to be able to use our own guards. And you can see just behind the Polish skip there, behind his wheel, you can see the two yellow stones. What an angle as well. No possible double take out there. And that will be why they are just going to try to open up the space in the house. So this is great stuff for the home team in the second end. A nice active cam following the stone there. And oh dear, he didn't quite catch that the way he wanted to. That hasn't really changed the landscape. And in the second end then, it will be the Polish skip who has some difficult stuff coming up. Same kind of drill for Wetzikon. They've played this path a few times now. And just wanting to put another yellow in. And look, he's got it perfectly again. That is a great throw. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 yellows. Hiding beautifully in behind those two blues. Ooh, big smiles from the home team. There, that's what you're looking at. If you're at the throwing end, you've got two blues right in front and Poland using their timeout already. I think this is sensible. Yeah, they must have thought, gosh, we had such a nice start in the first end. And then all of a sudden, they're in a bit of a pickle here in the second end and just wanting a little bit of advice. So their coach will be on his way down. Their coach is Pavel Frinia. There is a 1-minute timeout. And their coach has arrived. So what options do we have, gang? You could try and play on those front blues again, but the angles are not kind anymore. I think in this second end, it's still early in the game. It's a little bit unusual to see a team use their timeout so early in the game. Typically, it comes more like at the sixth end or so. But this is wise from Poland. They're not quite sure. They don't want the game to get away from them by losing a big end already early in this game. So this is sensible. The timeout's there for a reason. Let's call the coach. Yeah, I don't think there's a shot to play on those blues. I don't think that helps. I think, yeah, but we need to think of some damage limitation here. Losing 1 point or even 2, not really the end of the world. But losing 3 points or even more, that would really change the rhythm of this game completely. A little bit of magic then, please, from the Polish skip. I'm not quite finding the right line there, but I do think that's a more helpful situation. With his final stone, he could go in behind that blue now on the anti-clockwise handle. He's created a little bit of cover for himself, given himself a chance. Now, the opposite question then, if you're yellow, what do you do? Looks like they're certainly having a lot of success on that clockwise handle to put another yellow in with the pack. The other option would be, again, to call Poland's bluff. So that blue that's sitting just to the right of the centre line there, you could swing one round behind that before Poland gets to use it, but that's a bit of a risk. Poland only has 1 stone left and Wetzikon 2. And they feel they've been having good success with this clockwise handle. And thinking to themselves, yeah, let's force the Polish skip to do a dead draw with his final throw. And this is looking awfully nice again. And very nice throw again from Wetzikon. 1, 2, 3, 4 yellows all ahead of the T line. The T line is the horizontal line going through the circles there, going through the house. If you're tuned in from Poland, then your team needs your positive thoughts right here. We need a little bit of magic here from the Polish skip. He is looking at 4 yellow counters. Huge pressure on this stone. So coming in with enough pace to move some stones around a bit. Oh, that is a great effort. Oh, what a brave shot from the Polish skip there. You can see how close that blue was to stopping right in that forefoot in the blue circle. Yeah, brave effort there. And Wetzikon Vice just signalling that it is the blue that's rolled a little bit too far. Having a good look at it. If we can't decide which stones are closest, then we do have a measuring device. That's always kind of fun. It's a big metal stick that spins around the circle with a little pin that drops down where the stones are. There's a nice view. So certainly 1, 2 yellows touching the forefoot, the blue circle. And then which is the third closest? I do think it's that blue. So yellow lying first and second for sure. And probably saying, okay, if we can play pretty much the same shot again, try to make 3 points, that would be a great score on the board for the home team. Final stone in the second end then, it's our featured game at the 16th International Wheelchair Curling Tournament in Curling Club Wetzikon in Switzerland. And it is the home team who have a huge chance to put some points on the board against the team from Poland. Just using his own stone, but that's going to not quite find the right angle. And I think that will be 2 yellows, but that's a super response from the local team, the home team here. But yeah, smiles from Poland as well. They could certainly have had a worse outcome in that end. Some good play from the Polish skip in that final throw there. But I think team from Wetzikon, they will be pretty happy with that. That was a score of 2 to them in the second end. And that means in our featured game here in the 16th International Wheelchair Curling Tournament in Curling Club Wetzikon, it is the team from Poland 1, Wetzikon 2. I realise we forgot to say, in fact, hello to the team's last end. So here's a good opportunity. That's lead thrower for Curling Club Wetzikon. That is Marlies Schwitter. Second thrower holding the stopwatch on the left of our screen. That's Werner Locher. Third thrower holding on to Marlies's wheels while she's throwing. That's Daniel Schüle. Fourth and skip. Just coming into your picture now. That is Ceci Casini. That's a good throw from Marlies. Very experienced, the Wetzikon team. They've all been playing for a long number of years. Played in many Swiss championships. They've won plenty of Swiss championships. Medalled many, many times. And let's say hello to our guests from Poland. Lead thrower is Joanna Kozakiewicz. Second thrower is Monika Bodic. Third thrower is Michal Daszkowski. Fourth and skip is Łukasz Watzik. I have a Polish colleague at work who's been trying to teach me how to pronounce Polish names better. Hopefully I made a good job of that. And Poland still relatively new in wheelchair curling, but very consistent. They played here before, and they've played several World Wheelchair Curling Championships as well, the Polish team. That's a nice start from Joanna. It's Poland who, again, have last stone in this third end. And we can see the tactic that we mentioned previously. So without last stone, it's Poland who, they would like to build a few points away from the centre line. And that's why we see them playing, you would say, in to out. And in contrast, Wetzikon, they're quite happy to put stones in the path of Poland in the centre, try to make Poland's life more difficult to build points. And that's why we see the Wetzikon stone in the middle. Two nice throws from Joanna Kozakiewicz. So ready to throw then is Vernie Locher. Long-time member of Curling Club Wetzikon. Very experienced player. And Wetzikon not using their centre guard just yet, just trying to neutralise that blue, that really nice throw from Joanna. But their time to use their centre guard is now over. We are playing free guard zone, as we said, 5 rock free guard zone, and you can see all 5 stones in your picture now. So free guard zone is over, and Poland now allowed to remove those stones from play. Second thrower then, Monika Bodic. Gave that stone a good strong push and very successful. Oh no! Oh dear! Oh, that is so unlucky, yeah. A wry smile from the Polish skip at the other end. That's really unlucky for Monika there. Let's have a look at that again. She makes no mistake removing that guard, but catches exactly the wrong angle and accidentally leaves Wetzikon lying one. So can they take advantage of that? Yeah, an unfortunate little smile from Łukasz Watzik there. Can Wetzikon take advantage? Yes, they can. So they replace that guard. That's found a nice position. I'm not sure about that, Poland. This is quite a dangerous situation. So that yellow accidentally there, catching the wrong angle, but with a really lovely follow-up throw from Vernie Locher there. And that yellow out front, that's in a very dangerous position as well. This is a bold call from Poland. Monika Bodic then very unlucky with her first throw. And trying to sneak this blue through the gap out front. Oh, she's got that beautifully. And her skip giving her a nice round of applause there. So that's exactly what they wanted. That was a bold call from Poland, and Monika Bodic, nice strong thrower at second. That's often what you need with your second thrower, somebody that's comfortable throwing a stone at weight. And you can see how small that gap is from this angle at the throwing end. Not much bigger than a stone, but she made that beautifully and rolled away to the side. It's Poland with the all-important last stone in this third end. And they are now lying one with that lovely throw from Monika Bodic. But still plenty of danger left with all those yellow stones out front though. I'm not too sure about this call from Wetzikon. You can see they're playing away from the centre line, more towards that blue. This is curling quite a lot. Oh, is he going to prove me wrong, Danny? Goodness me, he sure is. Lovely throw from Wetzikon, and really asking the questions of Poland in this early stage. That gap a little bit wider this time. Can they thread the needle twice? You can see our sponsors in the bottom of the screen there. We say big thank you to them. That's a huge part of what makes this such an enjoyable competition for all of our participants. You're very well looked after here in Curling Club Wetzikon. The hotel's right across the street. You can go and have a look around town between games. The food is very nice here in the Curling Club. So Poland just trying to sneak a stone through that gap. The other handle this time, curling away from that centre line. And gosh, this is some high quality stuff out there. Third thrower, Michal. I'm just going to say Michal Gasik because he has quite a long name, which is quite difficult to pronounce. So Michal Gasik making a really nice throw there. And gosh, who is going to blink first? Playing all these stones through that gap out front. Who is going to get the wrong angle first? This is Danny Schule. His stone on the way. Has he also made it through the gap? Yes, he has. And he gets a lovely little roll again away from the centre. Big smiles all round. This is some high quality stuff. Going hit for hit out there. Everybody playing really precisely. And again, I think it's worth mentioning that no sweepers out there. Once that stone is on its way, it's just the stone that decides its path. There's no sweepers to help with the line. There's no sweepers helping with weight. So can Michal Gasik repeat his lovely throw with his first stone? And this stone not curling so much. That's sticking to the line a bit more. And yeah, that not quite finding the same path there. But I think it's okay to just replace that dangerous yellow out front with a blue now. You can see that blue just in front of the Wetzikon skip Sessi. If you just punch that blue a couple of meters forward, that would be a very nice shot. So that blue, a little bit dangerous for Wetzikon. But it is the Wetzikon team playing yellow. They are still lying short. That yellow just to the right of our screen. There, that's a nice overhead. It's yellow lying one. They're closest. Then the blue is next. And then finally that yellow just half in, half out. That's lying third shot. And in this end then, it is Poland with last stone. So Wetzikon need to be a bit careful. But I think they're wise here. The best form of defence being a good attack. If they can get a second yellow in counting, that would definitely put the pressure on Poland. That same kind of line then, that we've seen several stones in this end. And not quite making it to the house. They may have called a guard. I think he'd probably have liked that one a bit closer, but there you can just see it on the right of our screen there. Made that path though a little bit harder for Łukasz Waszek, the Polish skip. You can see Monika Bodic just holding on to Łukasz's wheels there. Particularly if you're throwing a stone at weight, then sometimes your wheels can slip, so that's very helpful to have a teammate just with their chair behind you. Make sure you don't slip. Oh my goodness, he has threaded that needle beautifully. He does get rid of the dangerous stone. A clap from Michal Gasik at the other end there. And for an encore, I think that blue just next to Vernie's wheel there, I think that blue is probably now shot. We shall have a good look here. So he does catch his own blue on the way out. But I think that blue just hanging on at the back there. Having a good game, the Polish skip, and asking the questions of Wetzikon skip Sessi Kazini. In the background, you just caught a glimpse of our official photographer, that's Nico. I think there's a link to her account on the tournament website, IWCT.ch. And you can also follow her on Instagram, Ruby Photography. And, ooh, that's a miss though, unfortunately, from the Wetzikon skip. You can see the idea. He just wanted to put a yellow just ahead of that blue hanging on the back. But overthrowing that a bit, that can happen when you've just been throwing a whole bunch of takeouts or faster stones, and then you have to adjust really quickly and bring that weight back down. And that means, though, there is a chance for Poland to put 2 points straight back on the board. Already lying one blue shot, and here is the final throw in this third end for Poland. And he maybe just overcorrected that a bit, the Polish skip, Łukasz Waszek. He maybe saw his opponent's stone running a bit too fast and maybe over-adjusted that, and a bit of a let-off for the Wetzikon team. That's just a score of 1 blue for Poland, but that does even the score now. And that means in our featured game at the 16th International Wheelchair Curling Tournament in Wetzikon in Switzerland, in our featured game, it is Team Poland 2, Team Wetzikon 2. And while we're setting up for the fourth end, we're approaching halfway in our featured game here on sheet 3. Let's see how the other games are doing. Over on sheet 1, it's the Korean team. Now, in terms of world ranking, the Koreans are the highest ranking in the competition, so I'm sure they will be really looking for a good performance here. Slow but steady. They are playing the team from England, and after 3 ends, their score is Korea 3, England 0. Good game going on sheet 2. It is the team from Scotland, and they are playing the team Swiss 2, so the second Switzerland team. And it was a big score of 3 to the Swiss in the second end, but Scotland replying right away with 2. You can just see them on the left of your screen, that game. And so after 3 ends on sheet 2, it is Swiss second team 3, Scotland 2. On sheet 4 next to us on the right of your screen, it is last year's champion Slovakia, and they are 1 point behind to our visitors from the US, Team Wagami. It is 2-1 to the Americans. On sheet 5, we have the highly experienced Italian team. They are taking on the Swiss team from Club St. Gallen, just about 1 hour away from us here. And it's the Italians who are 3-1 ahead after 3 ends. And finally, over on sheet 6, another Italian team, Team Albatross Trentino, and they are 3-1 up on the Swiss first team. So they're having a real strong start in their competition. A lot of these teams will be travelling to Scotland next weekend. We have our sister competition over there. That's in Stirling. So a lot of these teams, yeah, they make the trip from the US or from Korea. And then once this competition is finished in Switzerland, they make their way over to Scotland for next weekend. And that makes it worthwhile, having about 10 or so games within about 10 days. Tough schedule. All the teams here will play 6 games this weekend. We have the Schenkel system. That's a good Scottish word. And what it means is all your points count. So if you win the game, you get 2 points for winning the game. You get 1 point for drawing a game. And all of your ends also count. So at the moment, Team Poland has 2 ends and Team Wetzikon has 1 end. And finally, your points scored count as well. So as things stand at the moment, the teams will be getting 1 point each because scores are level. Poland has 2 ends, Wetzikon 1. And both teams would also have 2 points scored. And what you do is, after this round is finished, all of those scores go into the computer, and each of the teams are ranked top to bottom. So teams 1 to 12, and then team 1 plays team 2. Third place plays 4th, 5th plays 6th, and so on. So if you keep winning, you stay near the top of the table. And you can get some interesting situations. You can jump up a few places just by having a couple of extra ends. And that's why this can be a nice system to play, this so-called Schenkel system. Even if you're maybe not winning a game, it can still be worth fighting on to get some extra ends. That can come in really handy on Sunday morning when we shall have the 5th round. At the conclusion then of this first round, all the teams will be ranked 1 to 12 based on games won, ends won, and points won. We will do that 5 times. 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow, 1 game on Sunday morning, and then at Sunday lunchtime, Team 1 and 2 will play for the championship, and teams 3 and 4 for 3rd and 4th place. And the other teams for the ranking games. We have a long way to go until then. But if this start is anything to go by, then looks like all the teams are having a bright start. A couple of teams starting to pull away though. Slovakia on sheet 4 are champions last year, overcoming a Canadian team, or the Canadian team, Team Canada. They just put a big 4 on the board against the team from the US. That has done their title defence no harm at all. In our featured game though, another very nice throw. Let's just see the replay there from Vernie Locher again. They're not intimidated by playing an international team. All the players in this Wetzikon team very experienced. They've played at least many Swiss championships. I think all of them have been Swiss champion at some point. But gosh, look at that for a reply. Monika Bodic and Vernie Locher having a right good battle at second throw there. Let's watch that one again. Just catching a lovely angle on that and rolling in behind cover. Yeah, clap again from the Polish skip, rightly so. This is exactly what Poland wants. It's now Wetzikon who have last stone in this 4th end. We're approaching the halfway. So what's the best way if you're Poland You want to prevent Wetzikon from scoring. The best way is exactly this, is having a couple stones out front. Your own stone in behind, really close from Vernie there. A good effort from him, but it is Poland who still lie short. Scores are tied, it's 2 each. You can see the scoreboard also at the bottom of your screen there. So yeah, neither team needs to be particularly aggressive yet. So Poland doesn't need to score any points this end. They just want to stop the home team from Wetzikon Club. They just want to stop them having chances to put points on the board, really. So the call then is to just try to remove that dangerous yellow out front. Wouldn't take much to just push that yellow a little bit and land it in the house. So he certainly made it. Oh, he does catch that, his own blue on the way past. But that blue is going to hang around, the blue in the centre of our screen. The other one bouncing in off the side. You're not allowed to do that. So that blue being taken out of play. That throw though, here's a nice angle. Just leaving a bit of space now with that blue stone behind the tee line. And that's a good throw from Danny Schule there. Not quite reaching that blue, but again, you can see how dangerous that yellow is now. It would not take much to just push that yellow a bit further forward and get it close to the centre. And that's why you will see the teams really trying to control that area in the centre of the ice and just ahead of the tee line. That's really the danger area. If you're controlling that part of the ice, you have the best chance of putting points on the board. In the beginning with wheelchair curling, we didn't have the stick delivery. Everybody just kind of leaned over and threw the stone with their arm. But the game's really progressed very quickly. And now you see most of the players, they would have their own stick. That's a great throw from Michael Gasig. Again, just neutralising that danger that yellow was hanging on. Could be counting for a point and not anymore. Most of these athletes will have their own delivery stick. You can see most of the folks with often a holder on their chair as well. But all curling clubs will have a delivery stick as well. So if you're a wheelie user or your friend or colleague wants to come and try, you don't need any special equipment. It's your regular day-to-day chair. You don't need any adjustment. And the curling club will have a delivery stick that you can use. So there's no barrier to joining in. We do have quite a lot of wheelchair curling here in Switzerland. We have several teams, 4 teams from Switzerland representing in this competition. But you don't need to have a specific wheelchair club. If it's just you, don't feel intimidated. At club level, everyone can join in together. There are, of course, specified or specialist wheelchair clubs around. We have quite a big wheelchair club here, Zurich Oberland. That's the club that plays here in Wetzikon. But yeah, even if it's just you who's a wheelie user at club level, you can just join in with everyone else. As you can see, the game is similar enough that it's no problem to have either a wheelchair team in the club championship or a wheelchair player in your team. It's very inclusive that way. And actually the team in front of you, they do play in the club championship here, along with all the Fussi players you see in German, a Fußgänger player. So a player on foot rather than a Rolli player, a player on wheels. Gosh, both teams really asking the question of their opponents here. Nobody with last stone finding it easy. And that's a great throw again from the Polish skip. He's having a super start to his competition. Doing an excellent job of frustrating the Swiss. As we said, scores are tied. We're just approaching halfway. Neither team needs to go all out aggressive. So Poland's task is simply to frustrate the Swiss, just stop them building points. And gosh, they've really hit the target with that objective for this end. I think this is the only option indeed, is let's try to play on our own yellow. You'll see that, yeah, that just to the left of Vernie's brush there. Try and play yellow onto blue, and at the very least, even if we catch a wider angle, then hopefully we'll make a space for ourselves with a last stone. So a big throw from the Wetzikon skip. It looked like he didn't put too much handle on that, and that means that the stone is more likely to just catch a curl by itself. And it can be, I've never played with this stick actually, so I'm speaking a little bit from ignorance here, but I feel like it can be harder to put the handle on. Get a good view there of Łukasz Baszek. So you can see there's a little attachment at the end of the stick. The stick's about 2 meters. You can typically adjust the stick for as long as you want. And then you'll see when he releases that he just turns the stick slightly, and that's how you put the handle on. And you can see that stone curling more concretely than the previous one. The previous one from Wetzikon just starting to drift a little bit without a solid handle to guide it. And that's a real nice throw again from the Polish skip. Yeah, maybe Poland just starting to make a bit of progress here in this game. Maybe just starting to edge ahead a little bit. We will need a very nice throw from Sezi Kazini. To close out the first half of our featured game. So the stone's coming in hot. He's looking for the hit and roll. And that's a brave try. That's another one of those stones you feel like with a bit of sweeping. We could maybe have held that line, got a better angle. So he removes one of those blues, but that will be a steal of 2 blue to Poland. And yeah, Poland maybe just starting to put the pressure on a little bit here. But we're just at the halfway point. At the conclusion of that fourth end in our featured game at the 16th International Wheelchair Curling Tournament in Wetzikon, it is a score of a steal of 2 to Poland, and that makes our score Poland 4, Wetzikon 2. We're in the second half of our featured game. It's the first game of 5 rounds. And after 5 rounds, we will have the final ranking games. Our featured game at the 16th International Wheelchair Curling Tournament in Curling Club Wetzikon in Switzerland. It is the home team from Wetzikon, and they are playing Team Poland. Fairly even first half. But Poland just starting to edge ahead a little bit in that fourth end, weren't they? Poland ranked 19 in the current world rankings. Still somewhat new to world curling, Poland, and wheelchair curling, but very consistent. They've really been knocking on the door of the top group in world curling, this Polish team. They've had several strong mid-table finish at the World Wheelchair B Curling Championship. So that's the qualifying event for the A group. And interestingly, all of the team playing the new discipline in wheelchair curling, and that is the wheelchair mixed doubles event. I think the mixed doubles being really successful. People really enjoy playing that. We have several doubles leagues now in Switzerland, and very popular to watch as well. So a different rhythm. You only have 5 stones per end, 2 stones already placed at the beginning. And typically you get a lot of stones in play, a lot of action. So not surprising that that discipline also now open to the wheelchair curlers. I think that discipline will also be in the next Paralympic as well, as it has been for the Fußgänger, for the foot curlers. We've had mixed doubles in the Olympics for a couple of Olympic cycles now, and in 26 in Italy, for the first time, we will have wheelchair mixed doubles as well. I'm sure a lot of the players out there in the competition this weekend then will have high hopes for both Paralympic traditional rules, let's say, with their normal team of 4, as well as potentially qualifying for the new discipline of mixed doubles wheelchair curling. Pretty straightforward end, this 5th end. We saw both teams interacting with their coach at half-time. We saw Paweł Frynia, the Polish coach. We saw him already. Poland already using their timeout. And it is Markus Fanti, who is coach for the Wetzikon team. Paweł involved in just about everything in Polish curling by the look of it. Also coaching a junior team. And still active player himself with his men's team. So I shall need to ask him when he finds time for a job or family or so. That's something else new this year, that we have a little media corner set up. And after the games, we will be trying to talk to our teams. Ask them about the games, ask them about how they're getting on in Switzerland. And you can look out for that on the website and on our Instagram as well. The Instagram handle is IWCT_Wetzikon. And you will also find the links to the live stream there as well. So if you're watching, then give us a mention. Come say hello. And now we see a little bit more aggressive stuff. As long as there are stones in the house, as we call it. I'm not sure where that word comes from, but you will hear the players talking about stones in the house, which means in the rings. Then pretty straightforward for the players at this level to just remove stones from the house. We play hit for hit. But as soon as you've got some stones out front, that makes that task a little bit harder. And typically encourages more stones in play. What then are our objectives for this fifth end? We are now over halfway. So we no longer have plenty of ends left to sort out a problem. It is Poland who are 4-2 ahead, but it is Wetzikon who have last stone playing yellow. But it's Poland putting the pressure on also in this fifth end. Poland a couple of points ahead. They don't need to be aggressive. Their objective pretty similar to the fourth end. They just want to prevent the local team from having opportunities to score. And this is the best way of doing that. They have that lovely guard out front. And look at this for a throw. They have now just consolidated that out front and made that path very difficult for the home team to get stones in play now. That's a really nice setup at the moment for Poland. No easy way to those two blue stones. So we need a good throw here, please, from Danny Schüler. And this one coming at pace. Just trying to clear some space now out front. Oh, and he's picked off everything. Bonus shot there for Danny Schüler. I can see from our window up top here, him pleased with that one. I think they were just trying to move some things out front there. But yeah, let's have a look at that. He gets everything moving and leaves a couple of yellows, I think, lying short. So that's really changed the landscape in this fifth end. And suddenly, Poland, having committed really to this aggressive tactic for the fifth end, well, let's see how that goes for them. Sometimes you can, well, it can go badly if you're too aggressive. Obviously, aggressive tactics are typically high risk, high reward. But the opposite can be true as well. And Poland rather committed to an aggressive end now. So they will need to be better with their aggressive shots than the Swiss. But not fazed by that lovely throw from Danny Schüler. That's a pretty nice effort from Michal Kasik. Again, just neutralising all that danger. And even though that blue stone behind T, so there is still space for the Wetzikon team to follow it, nevertheless, pretty difficult to move it. That's that blue right in the middle of the pile there. Very difficult to move that out of play completely. I would call that an insurance shot from Michal Kasik there. Really getting his team out of danger there. But still chances for the Wetzikon team. As long as that space, that all-important space ahead of T-line, as long as that's still free, then we have chances. And you can see the line was perfect there from Danny, but just coming up a bit short, that stone. Will they get another chance to use that path? We are at skip stones in our featured game. Team Poland are playing home team from Curling Club Wetzikon. The man throwing then, Łukasz Waszek. He has had a great start to his competition. And his weight is beautiful there. That's exactly enough. He doesn't really want that stone to go much further towards the centre. He doesn't need to. It's already blue lying shot, although behind tee. And if that stone was really on tee line, that would open up the possibility for a hit and roll. So his weight was lovely there. He just wanted it a little bit closer to the centre line though. You can see from this angle. There's Verney holding the brush on the right of our screen. And again, Wetzikon, they will just be trying to sneak in around all those guards on the centre line out front. First throw in the fifth end for Ceci Casini. Oh, really close. That weight looked pretty nice, but just over curling a bit and catching those stones out front and handing a second chance then to Łukasz Waszek. He had the reverse issue. His weight was really nice, but it stayed a little bit straight. It was a little bit wide of the line he wanted. And Ceci Casini's stone there looked like quite nice weight, but the stone curled too much. So they will both be looking to correct that. Has he got it this time? This looks good. That is lovely. He made a perfect correction there, and what a throw that is. Look at that. You can see that sunk in behind everything there. And big pressure now for Ceci Casini. He needs to follow that blue. But he also needs to move that blue just thrown by Poland if they want to score. And I think he looks like he's overcorrected this. You can see that stone not quite curling in time. It's not going to. The weight looked okay actually, but yeah, that bit of an overcorrection. His first stone curled a bit too much, and that stone not quite curling enough, and Poland now starting to put a little bit of distance between themselves and the home team. Big smiles from Team Poland. And I wonder how important that end will be. That is a big steal of 2 to Poland in the fifth end, and that means here in our featured game, it is Poland 6, Wetzikon 2. Our little helpers on the left there in their yellow jackets. That's a tough job, viewer. Your legs really feel that job tomorrow. All that standing up and down. It's a good workout being a stone cleaner. And we say a big thank you to all of the people from the club who always support this competition. Marley Schwitter then ready to throw. And we need some good set-up play from her in this sixth end for the team from Wetzikon to close this gap. The game starting to get a little bit ahead or a little bit away from them. And that's a decent start from Marlies. That's what we need. We need some stones out front, as we said. If the stones go into the house, into the circles, pretty easy for the other team, for your opposition, to just remove those stones. And that's why it's so important for your lead thrower to have a nice consistent throw and land some stones in that free guard zone. Poland not allowed to remove those yellow stones until 5 stones have been played. A good correction from Joanna Kozakiewicz. That blue in the background, a bit too long with her first throw, so a good correction from her. And all the pressure on the Wetzikon team now. Poland are 6-2 ahead. It is the Wetzikon team that will need to be aggressive. They need to get stones in play. Keep stones in the house. Keep some stones out front to hide behind. And that's good work from Marlies. They still have that guard out front. And there is a yellow counter. Not quite hidden, but certainly that's a solid start, not allowing Poland to dictate the tactics here. That's what they don't want. And that's what Poland did really well in that 4th and 5th end, actually. Very solid with just putting that pressure on. Really critical that the Wetzikon team get a strong start. So good job, Marlies. Let's see how everyone else is getting on. We have 6 sheets here in Wetzikon, and we will have 6 games going for each of the rounds. On sheet 1, it's the team from Korea. They are the highest ranked team in the world rankings in the competition, ranked 5th in the world. They are up against Team Scotland. Sorry, no, Team England. We have 2 teams from British curling, and they are up against the team from England. And a really close game, but just, we call this getting wonned to death. And after 5 ends, it is 5-0 to Korea, scoring 1 in every one of those ends. Ooh. Ooh, viewers. Unfortunately, we don't have a camera, but I can tell you, there's an 8 on. I've got my own camera ready, and my goodness, will this be on the Instagram if this comes off? It is the team from Italy with one more shot to come. It's on its way. He's got one yellow to remove. Oh, so close. I imagine we'll have a photo of that set up anyway. Gosh, that doesn't happen very much. Whew, sorry to disturb our roundup there, but goodness me. 7 Italian stones already in play. Difficult to remove the opposition one, but goodness me. I'm sure there will be a picture of that on Instagram later. So be sure you're following the competition. It's IWCT _ Wetzikon. Phew. So after that excitement, where were we? Yes, so we have Korea on sheet 1. They are playing the team from England, and it's 5-0. So just steadily putting one after one on the board, Korea. On sheet 2, it is the team from Scotland. They are playing the second Swiss team. And steady progress from Scotland. They'll be looking for a good result here. They are ranked 8th in the world. The second highest ranked team in this competition. And they were not here last year. So we're glad to welcome our friends from Scotland back again. And they will be looking for a good performance there. And they are 6-3 ahead after 5 ends against the Swiss first team. On rink 4, we have last year's champions Slovakia. And that's our first result, actually. So they have already finished that big 4 in the 4th end, putting the game really out of reach from our visiting team from the US. And that is a final score after 6 ends of 7 points to 2 to the defending champion Slovakia over Team Wagami from the US. On sheet 5, it was nearly an 8. But it ended up, I think it was a score of 2. They haven't put it up yet, but the score after 5 ends on sheet 5, it was all level. So, of course, that was a huge chance for Italy to win the game in that one end. But after 5 ends, it was 4 each. And I believe that was 2 to Team Italy. So I believe they're now ahead 6-4. And over on sheet 6, the other Italian team, Team Albatross Trentino. Of course, they have really jumped out of the blocks. They are against the Swiss first team, and they are 9-1 ahead after 6 ends. So looking very nice for both Italian teams out there. We will be watching sheet 3 all weekend. And we will do our best to feature all of our visitors, all of our visiting teams. Keep track of the rounds and the scores on the website. That's IWCT.ch. You don't know who you play in advance. This first round is already drawn. But then it depends how you play. As we said, at the conclusion of the round, all the teams are ranked based on games won, ends won, and then shots won. The teams will be ranked 1 to 12. And for the second round, Team 1 will play Team 2, or the team ranked 1 will play rank 2, rank 3 plays rank 4, and so on. So you never know who you're going to play next. But we will, of course, be keeping our eyes open for the exciting games to watch. We always like to feature our international visitors. Not yet clear then who we will be watching on sheet 3 later today, but we will be back at 3:30 European time for round 2. And we will have the pick of the bunch for you. And they need to be a little bit careful, our game out here. You can see the clock in the background at the throwing end at the moment. They have just under 30 minutes left, and you need to complete your 7th end by the time the clock runs out. Otherwise, you have to finish you have to stop after 7 ends. There's confirmation of the score there. You can see, yeah, Poland just starting to edge ahead now, putting a little bit of daylight between them and the home team. But this end looking pretty nice for Wetzikon. They have yellows hanging around. You don't need to be lying shot at the conclusion of every stone. What you're trying to do is set up chances. And then with the actual final stone of the end, which is yours, then you finish those chances off. That's the idea. And that's nice from Danny. There's a good view. Yellow definitely lying shot. That one just next to the Polish brush there. And it is Poland lying second shot. Wetzikon lying third. But what you're doing at this stage in the end is you're building chances. You don't need to be lying points after every stone. You need to be navigating a path. You need to have in your head, okay, if we set up this chance and then make it hard for Poland, and if we can get a missed stone from Poland, then we'll have a chance to convert this to points for us. And that's really how you're thinking. You have one last stone, obviously, per end. And at this level, typically, if you have last stone, then scoring 1 point with your one last stone is relatively straightforward. Oh, goodness me. Is that the little lifeline that Wetzikon need? I think that's about the first mistake we've seen from Łukasz Waszek. Well, now. Yeah, plenty of danger now for Poland. As Vernie indicates, if you move that blue and you have a yellow lying around, if the shooter lands in the house as well, all of a sudden, this end looks very different. Huge chance then for the home team from Wetzikon. Ceci Cassini's first throw in the 6th end. Oh, he just touches that blue. Oh, that's a pity. That was exactly the right weight. Not too heavy. He wanted that yellow hanging around. Oh, I don't think he's going to get too many more chances to change this game around, though. I think that could be a costly miss for the Swiss team. A sigh of relief, though, for Poland. That could have looked very different at this stage. And a bit of a get out of jail free card for the Polish skip is now 2 blues that are lying. Really nice clean throw from the Polish skip there. And now no chance, unfortunately, for the home team to score more than 1 point here. And important that they do get this point on the board. Is that yellow going to hang on for 1 point? I think it does. Yes. Good throw under pressure from Sezi Kazini. Wetzikon really needing to steady the ship there. They will, I'm sure, be kicking themselves, though, that they had a really good opportunity to put some big pressure on Poland. And, yeah, Poland let off the hook a bit there. Just getting away with 1 point to their opposition. And they were setting up nicely for more than that. Quite a difference between scoring 1 with your 1 last stone, which is relatively straightforward, and scoring more than 1. If you imagine, if you have last stone in that first end and you score 1 with your 1 last stone, and then your opposition would have last stone in the second end and they would score 1 with their last stone. If you do that for 8 ends, you will end up with a score of 4 each. And if you want to win the game, then you have to do something a bit more. And if you want to score 2 points with your last stone advantage, you need at least 1 mistake from your opposition. If your opposition play 8 out of 8 stones, you cannot score more than 1. So you need a mistake from them if you're going to score 2. And that's what you'll see the teams trying to do. That's why I talk about setting up chances. You're trying to force your opposition into a mistake and then try to capitalize on that mistake, take advantage of it, and score more than 1 when you have last stone. That's why you will hear us talking a lot about scoring 2 rather than just scoring 1. 1 is kind of the default. But nevertheless, an important score of 1 point there in the 6th end for the home team from Wetzikon. And this game not over yet. That means after 6 ends, it is Poland 6, Wetzikon 3. Early mistake from Poland in this 7th end. Objective, though, a little bit different now for Wetzikon. They are still behind. It's 6 points to 3. And that means that they can't afford to simply frustrate Poland. Wetzikon, they do need to score some points now as well. If Poland score any more points, then it will be quite a mountain to climb in this 8th end. And even though Swiss people are surely very experienced and good at climbing mountains, that would be a big ask. Not enough for Team Wetzikon to just frustrate Poland. They need to be aggressive now, Wetzikon. They need to start scoring points here in the 7th end. But that's, again, a decent start from Marlies Schwitter. They do have 2 yellows in counting, and Joanna Kozakiewicz. Oh, she did correct with her second stone there, but she's not quite connected with that yellow. Can be quite tough going, throwing big weights for the wheelchair players in the Fusi game for foot players. All of our power really comes from the leg drive out of the hack. And if you are using only upper body strength, these guys, of course, typically pretty strong in the upper body because that's their normality. But a little bit harder to consistently throw that big weight just with upper body strength. And that's why sometimes we do see just a bit of a slower weight for some of the players. Depends how much mobility you have, of course, in your upper body as well. And just can be just a bit tougher to throw those big weights just with upper body. But someone who's been throwing big weight all game very accurately is the lady in your picture, Monika Bodic. Poland still really in control of this game in the seventh end out of 8. They are 3 points ahead. It is they who have last stone advantage in the seventh end. So Monika Bodic, either of those yellows is good to remove. So yeah, ideally she would have liked to remove that yellow entirely, but that's still a good shot. That guard out front, that was dangerous. Yeah, it maybe seems a bit counterintuitive. Why do we high-five that shot when the yellow's still there? The yellow is still there, but the guard was the dangerous shot. And Monika Bodic has moved that yellow right out to the wings there. So that was a good throw from her. And this, is it just going to hang on? Oh, it doesn't quite hang on to the back there from Vernie Locher. So keep it simple, Poland. As we said, if Poland simply score 1 point here, that would put them 7-3 ahead. And that should really be enough at this level to close a game out. Poland's objective hasn't really changed. They don't really want guards out front. That's stones that will help the Wetzikon team. As we said, typically, if you have last stone, you want to try to score more than 1 point, 1 point being kind of the default. But we're late in the game now. Poland are 6-3 ahead. They don't need to score more than 1. We call that playing the scoreboard. So just being aware of where you are in the game, how many more ends are coming. Only 1 end to come after this, but ooh, gosh. I think that is about the first mistake we've seen from Monika Bodic this game as well. And if Wetzikon are going to have a chance to turn this game around, every shot from now on really critical. We saw a decent set-up play from Marlies Schwitter. And now we need a real pinpoint throw from Danny Schule. Now we need these stones out front. Stones out front will frustrate Poland. They're dangerous to Poland. That is a very nice stone out front. Gold star for Danny Schüle. Poland's tactics, though, not really changed. They still just want to keep it simple. I'm not sure I would go for this shot, you know. I think I would probably try to remove that dangerous guard, just thrown by Wetzikon. Just keep it wide open, no guards out front, loads of space so that when Łukasz Waszek comes with his final throw, he's got plenty of space to just score 1 point in the centre. So I'm not sure about this shot, you know. He does remove that yellow. But still, there is a dangerous Wetzikon guard out front. Danny looking confident. Big chance here for the Swiss to put some pressure on. This is a subtle difference that you see sometimes in the wheelie game, is that oftentimes it's easier to throw from the centre line out for the wheelie players rather than from the side of the sheet in. There you can see that Danny Schüle has absolutely nailed that. And he is going to hang around, and that is a great throw from him. And still we have that dangerous guard out front. Poland deciding, okay, we'll try to use that guard out front first, I think, unless they are trying to remove some of those yellows, which I don't think they need to. Oh, I'd still like to remove that guard, you know, viewer. That's the only stone that can hurt them. If you remove that guard, everything's open for Łukasz Waszek's final throw, and that's what you want. And indeed, they are playing towards the pack of yellows rather than coming around that guard. If we're following the keep it simple strategy, though, the guard's the danger stone, and it's still in play and still possible for the Wetzikon team to hit and roll. See a nice roll from that blue stone, but still space for a hit and roll in behind that dangerous guard. Been a lot of pressure on Sesi Cassini and his throws today, but really nice setup play from his team, giving the Wetzikon team nice layout in this seventh end. And now we need Sesi Cassini to finish it off. Throwing fourth, I always say, is difficult. Not necessarily because of the difficulty of shots, although that plays a part, but because you're the one that has to finish it off. Ooh, no, that is not it. That caught all the wrong angles, and I wonder if that could be an important turning point now in this game. 2 stones left for Poland, only 1 for Wetzikon. And I think now we will see Poland try to use that guard. I would still just remove it. But I am also from the 1980s, when a score of 2-1 after 10 ends was not as unusual as you might think. I am hyper-conservative tactically. Good news on sheet 1. Team England have a point on the board after 6 ends, so that means the score over there. They're up against Korea, who potentially the strongest team in the competition. They certainly have the highest world ranking, and it is 5-1 to Team England. So a tough start for them, but they'll be glad to get a point on the board on sheet 1. On sheet 2, Team Scotland really starting to put the pressure on the Swiss second team. They are 7-3 ahead after 6 ends. Over on sheet 5, after that highly exciting 6th end, where Italy didn't quite score 8, and in fact just scored the 2, and St Gallen team, they came racing back with another 2 of their own, and that means that scores are still tied on sheet 5. It's 6 each after 7 ends. And finally, over on sheet 6, the Swiss first team, they plugged the leak a little bit. They got a 1 in the 7th end, but I think the damage probably already done over there. It's the other Italian team, Team Albatross Trentino. They are leading 9 points to 2 after 7. Now, Wetzikon not taking advantage there of that opportunity. Overthrowing their final stone and really giving a chance for Poland to put this game out of sight, really. You can see from the overhead, that's a good score of 2, going straight up on the board there. And it is the team from Poland who lead home club Wetzikon after 7 ends, 8 points to 3. We have a second result, viewers, over on sheet 6. That was a score of 2 in the final end to the Italians, Team Albatross Trentino, and that means what a start they have. Their first round is 11 points to 2 result for them. We need to see how the other results go, but surely Team Albatross Trentino must be close to the top of the table, if not first place, by having such a strong start. They will be waiting to see who they play in the second round. Remember, after the first round concludes, all 12 teams in the competition are ranked 1 to 12 based on games won, ends won, points won. And then the team ranked first plays the team ranked second, third plays fourth, and so on. So if you keep winning, you stay near the top of the table. And after we've had 5 rounds, we will have the final ranking games on Sunday lunchtime. So we have today another round for you at 3:30 European. Not long to wait. Just time to have a cup of coffee together. Maybe refuel, have a sandwich or something. And then second round today at 3:30 European. third round is at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, all times European, and also at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And on Sunday, we have the final round is at 8:30. That's an early start for me. And the ranking games will be played at 12:45 after we have the Caledonian Pipe Band of Zurich to welcome us onto the ice at 12:30. So that's a really fun event. That, of course, will be on the live stream. The pipe band piping the teams onto the ice. Curling originating in Scotland, and still a lot of Scottishness associated with the game. Poland's objective now in our featured game is the 8th and final end. No extra ends in the round robin stage. It is possible to draw the game, and you would get 1 point each. Wetzikon running out of stones to draw the game here, but as we said, getting another end from this game could be very valuable later on for Wetzikon. So even if you're losing a game, still worth fighting on. And that's about as much as Marlies Fitter can do with that stone. The decision for Wetzikon in this final end is, okay, do we keep things simple? And it looks like that's what they are doing. So let's play the stones into the house. Let's not bother with guards out front. Let's try to make an easy score, or easy-ish score of 1 with a final stone by keeping everything clear, no guards out front, no obstacles. The other option is to play more aggressively, put some stones out front, try to score more than 1 point. But that's not so easy. That risks losing the end, and I think this is the wise choice. Let's just try to make sure that we score something in this end, at least 1. Then we will have a third end. You can see in the scoreboard behind you, the Wetzikon team just with 2 ends at the moment, and scoring a third end could be very helpful to them later in the competition. So let's just make sure we can do that fairly simply, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. A nice easy score of 1. More desirable at the moment than trying to complicate things and keeping more stones in play, taking more risks to score 2. All of our games then are in their 8th and final end. And actually, on sheet 1, it looks like the game between Korea and England. It looks like they have shaken hands after 7. And that is a final score. That was a big score of 3 in the 7th end to Korea. Again, really putting that game beyond England. And it is Korea triumphing over England on sheet 1. That's 8 points to 1. Good for confidence out there as well from Team Wetzikon. Important that they take good confidence into their next game. Most of the teams will drop a game or 2 at some point this weekend. but important to have a nice solid finish. Keep confidence for their next game. One advantage of this Genko system, like we explained before, it's not just a win-lose. You get scored, or rather you're ranked based on games won, ends won and points won. And one advantage of that is that if you have lost your first game or if you lose a game, you are much more likely to come up against another team who also lost a game. Therefore, your next game would hopefully be a little bit easier in terms of your opposition, or your opposition would be closely matched to how you're playing as well. So even if you lose your first game, you can still work your way all the way back up to the top of the table. And Wetzikon just need to keep playing exactly this. Poland are running them out of stones, so to say. I think with that shot, with this shot coming, I think there will be no longer enough yellow stones, even if Poland somehow missed all their shots coming up. I don't think yellow has enough stones now to win. And that's enough for Poland. It would be nice for Poland if they could also win this end. Then they would have 6 ends to put on the scoreboard. But since they don't have last stone Poland in the 8th end, that would need over-aggressive play at this stage in a competition. They already have 5 ends booked. And with this stone, I think it becomes impossible for Wetzikon to win if that yellow goes, which it does. So yeah, Poland will already win this game. Would be nice if they get another end on the score sheet, but that's not the most important thing. The most important was to give the Wetzikon team no chance to score big in this final end. We have another result for you viewers. And goodness me, what a result on sheet 5. 15 minutes ago, or 20 minutes ago, we were holding our breath as Italy had 7 shots lying around. Tricky shot to make 8, but yeah, they had 7 shots lying around. Managed to pick up 2, but with the final throw in their 8th end, it is St. Gallen team who have gone on to win. What a topsy-turvy game that must have been. But on sheet 5 then, the final score is Italy 6, St. Gallen 7. Well, this bodes well for the rest of the weekend, viewer. Some real battles going on out on the ice there. St. Gallen will be delighted with that. Gosh, they must have said a little prayer to the curling gods when they had one lonely little stone up against 7 Italian stones. The curling gods are fickle, as we know. We have 2 games left on the ice. We have our featured game on sheet 3, and it is Scotland versus the second Swiss team on sheet 2. And actually it looks like they have also just concluded. I'll need to wait for them to put the score up, but certainly I can tell you that Scotland have won. They have. So the scores on the board then, that was a final score of 1. So a nice solid finish for the second Swiss team. And that looked like a good game. Hopefully the Swiss team will take confidence from that. But Scotland, they will be looking for a strong performance this weekend. They didn't come last year, although they've been many years prior to that. So they will be looking for a good return. And it is the Scottish team who have won their first round against the second Swiss team, 7 points to 4. Two teams from British curling. We have one team from Scotland, one team from England. The Scottish team, they're ranked number 8 in the world. And the team from England, currently ranked 21. And the Polish team, been knocking on the door of the top group for World Wheelchair Curling for a couple of years now. Typically very consistent, the Polish team. And they've really played excellently today in their first round. They just really kept the pressure on, kept it consistent. And with that final throw from Sersi Cassini, strong finish from Wetzikon, but a nice strong win from the team from Poland. Smiles all round. So in our featured game then, lovely start to our competition. Happy smiles from the Polish team, quite right. In the first featured game then of the 16th International Wheelchair Curling Tournament here in Curling Club Wetzikon in Switzerland. The final score is the team from Poland 8, Wetzikon 4. So thank you to all of our teams out on the ice. You can see Jaromir, he's the chief of the stream team this weekend. Thank you, stream team, for the active cam. We will be here all weekend with the active cam here on sheet 3. We will now rank the teams from 1 to 12 to figure out who plays who in the next round. The next round is at 3:30 European. So in 90 minutes from now, you've got time to do the dishes and take the dog for a walk. There we are. That's the timings for today. The second round starts at 3:30 European. We have 2 hours 15, so come back and join us in 90 minutes. We will pick the best of the bunch for us to watch on sheet 3. We will be doing our best to feature all of our international guests. Congratulations to Poland, and thank you for a good game to Curling Club Wetzikon. Come back and join us for round 2. Bye for now.